it was my idea just to kind of like prove a point, because golf courses get a bad rap for being like these toxic waste dumps and they're killing all the bees with all these chemicals they're spraying. Well, I want to tell you, we started in 2020, and then now we're in 2025, and we've lost one hive. Actually, we haven't really lost any because we started with 2 and now we have 11. And we never bought another package of bees. We just split hives or caught swarms. So, I mean, they're thriving here on the golf course and producing lots of honey. So,
Rich, man, so good to see you.
you too, Tom.
It's so great to be here. I'm sitting here in the maintenance shed. Do you call it the shed or the barn here? What's the
Turf Care Center? No, we just call it maintenance building.
I'm here in the Turf Care Center and at Jeffersonville. And, I'm so excited to be sitting down with you. Not only are you a great guy, you're a legend in this business, at least in my mind. Because honestly, dude, I think superintendents, one, don't get enough love. And when they do get love, it's around like, a major or look at all the 1,000 mowers out at this major, that major. What you're doing here at Jeffersonville, maintaining a meticulous golf course. I mean, it's always in fantastic shape. And you get how many rounds a year?
Well, last year we did 53,000 rounds.
53,000 rounds.
Last month we did 7,300 rounds.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And that you're able to, keep it in such good shape and have this kind of success. I mean, everyone in the area knows that Jeffersonville is the spot. The Broken Tea Society comes here. We love it. We love it. All right, what's your secret? How do you keep it in such good shape with so much play going on?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think having a really good staff.
Yeah.
A core group of guys that are willing to put in the time and buy into the system. Really, that's really what it comes down to.
What's your system?
Hard work. I tell the guys, weekly that, the goal is when people come to Jeffersonville, we want to exceed expectations with surprise and delight. It's getting harder to do that because expectations are getting higher.
Yeah.
But when people come to Jeffersonville, they had that old mentality of this was just a dog track. And when they get here now, some haven't played in 20 years are like, holy cow, this place is incredible. Yeah. So I think the guys, I share all the good accolades with them and they deserve everything. They're the ones who do all the work. So I think they like that. It's motivation.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my dad's reaction when he came here. I think he came last year and hadn't been here for probably, 20, 30 years.
Right.
I was like, Tom, it's just Jeffersonville. Donna Ross, it's incredible. It's like country club shape, So you're definitely succeeding there. I mean, with your crew. So if folks don't listen to the podcast, I'm involved in a golf course in New York and I do some help on the greens crew there, but, have a staff and a very small crew there.
Right.
Managing people, people ask, what's the most challenging thing of the job of having a golf course or operating a golf course or whatever. And for me, by a mile, it's not, I love mowing fairways, restocking the shop is easy enough. Managing people is a whole other thing and a whole other skill set. Like, is that something that came natural to you or did you have to kind of like figure it out?
I think it came natural because of what I grew up with, in the golf industry. The guys that I worked for were really good people.
Yeah.
And they treated me really well and they helped me through my career. And so I think that I have to pay it forward and treat people like humans,
So take us through that track. Where'd you start? Who were those guys?
Yeah. So Skip Back Golf Course right down the street here. It's owned by the state. Was run by American Golf at the time. The guy that hired me there was Joe Rock. He wasn't there too long, but then Ron Henderson came in, great guy, kind of like, laid back, not a lot of pressure, just get the job done. Eric Noonan, who's one of my best friends, took over as superintendent there. He's went to Gilbertsville and that place is gone now. But and then after I left Skipback, I went to Delaware and worked for Chris Atkins, who was at the Rookery, who is just one of the greatest guys I've ever met in my life. Just never turned away anything. You know, he wasn't scared to do anything. We built that entire golf course in-house. From the irrigation to the greens complexes, bunkers, everything. We had a greenhouse on the property, learned how to grow annual flowers and all that. And when I told him I applied for this job, he tried to keep me there, but knew that I needed to move on and wrote me a letter of recommendation, still gave me my bonus. Just a great guy, you know.
So good people.
Good people, yeah.
And you stayed here.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got quite a reputation out in the section, in the business. I'm sure you've tried to be poached. Why stick around here?
Never been tried.
Okay.
You know, I think there's like this misconception where, you know, a guy at a public golf course can't make that transition into the country club world.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really a hard transition to get people to understand that, yeah, we can do that. You know, we're maintaining a golf course at a high standard, a high volume golf course at a high standard with less money.
Right. Why wouldn't you want that at your
So I don't know. I mean, I never worked at a country club for more than a few months, so I'm happy here. I love it here. And I feel like we have a lot to do still, and you know, I look forward to that.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that. But about specifically like Jeffersonville, it's such an interesting place because Donald Ross, lots of history. Like, it's an important golf course. So as my colleague Casey Bannon put it, you've got a champagne golf course, but maybe a clientele that has more of a beer taste. Is there any kind of challenge to that where, you know, you've got something really special, like historically and in terms of its heritage, but, you know, you'll get a lot of your golfers out here, public golfers, maybe people don't play a lot. What's that dynamic like?
Well, I mean, I think after COVID, there was definitely an influx of golfers with a low golf IQ.
Right.
So, you know, I think they appreciate the beauty of the golf course. And there's a lot of guys, you know, from that, you know, COVID era who were architect nerds and love this place for that reason. But there's other people that are just out here having a good time. And that's good. That's great. You know, we want them to. The problem is the etiquette they lack etiquette. So there's carts where they're not supposed to be. Divots aren't getting filled, but then it's everywhere, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
Ball marks aren't getting repaired, so we have to do a little extra maintenance on that end of it.
Yeah, I was curious about that. The stereotype of the public course golfer is that they come out and to a Muni and they're going to chop it up. But yet you come here and you don't get that feeling that's taking place at all. And I don't think that stereotype's always fair. I mean, there's a broad range of there's people, and honestly, there's people at country clubs who don't give a damn either.
Absolutely.
You know,
I see posts on Instagram all the time. Divots out of greens at high-end country clubs.
Absolutely.
What are we doing here? This is your home.
Right. Exactly. No. I think that, you know, when we come here or when people come here, I think probably the majority of them know it's somewhere pretty special and try to take care of it.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think with the new building, you know,
it signals something for sure.
Yeah. The old building was charming.
The old building was old.
It was old.
It was old. I remember going to that snack bar. So the old building was, I don't know, 100 years old. It was like a house it was like a farmhouse.
It was a barn. It was
a barn.
Stock barn, yeah. So oxen and, you know, cows and everything, you know.
Yeah, they used to pull these mowers around. And now there's a beautiful new facility. I mean, that does set the tone when you come to Jeffersonville, you know, this is a cool, special place. So
yeah, I think that's back to that surprise and delight.
Yeah.
When they got to the old clubhouse, you know, kind of set them up for like, what are we doing here? And they get to the first tee and they're like, wow, this is great. Right. But now the clubhouse kind of represents the golf course. So
it's a good point. Yeah. What time did you get here this morning?
This morning, 4:45.
4:45. Yeah. All right.
Not too bad. You know, I know some guys.
I'd say I'd say you weren't the first one here.
No, it wasn't the first one. Green's guy's out. He's mowing, man.
Yeah. So walk us through a day, and walk us through your day as a superintendent in Jeffersonville.
All right. So, well, it actually starts the day before, planning for the next day. So we meet in my office and set up the schedule for what everybody's tasks are, their first assignments for setup. If it's a Monday, we get here 5 o'clock. That's our start time, where we have to be on the mower 5:05. We have a quick little meeting just to detail everything that's going on that day. We send 2 fairway mowers out, a greens mower, collar mower, and a tee mower. 2 turbine blowers behind our fairway mowers, because nothing's worse than clippings laying on a fairway and playing golf. I hate that. So just keep everything nice and clean. It's really important. We have a divot guy out every day, 7 days a week. Somebody's changing cups every day. Then we have our trim crews out there push mowing around bunker banks or fly mowing, raking bunkers. So yeah, it's pretty busy morning usually.
Yeah.
It's like an orchestra. It's the best time of day is when, the sun's just not up yet and all the lights on the mowers are on, just dancing around the golf course. It's pretty awesome.
That's got to feel cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And what are you doing? Just hanging around? Having coffee?
I'm kind of like the utility guy. So if somebody doesn't show up, I get on the fairway mower or a greens mower or, weed whack or whatever. I don't care. I'll do it all.
What do you like doing?
I actually love getting on a rough mower. Putting my AirPods in and just kind of like meditating on that thing and just cruising, cutting. I think that's fun. Nobody bothers you.
No one bothers you, and you can't screw it up too much.
You can't screw anything up.
Right? No, I screw things up on the fairway unit all the time.
Yeah, they don't like me getting on these real mowers too much, because I usually scalp something.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It's good. You want to play after I've mowed, because the fairway always got a little wider. Yeah. It's hard to hit that line sometimes.
It is. That's a skill, that cleanup pass on that fairway. Yeah, that transition has to be sharp.
Yeah, exactly. What's your favorite mow pattern?
We do a box cut, like tuxedo cut. I like the half and half. I think that's iconic, and it really fits in with the style of the golf course. Yeah. So
same here, but I do it Zamboni style. Go around until there's eventually a line.
So you go outside to in.
I go outside to in, but Sean hates it when I do that. He starts with the center stripe, and then and sometimes he'll start me with a center stripe, but I always screw up the center stripe. Right?
Yeah.
So then I end up with 3 more passes on the right than on the left.
Yep. That's easy. That's easy to do. If the sun's hitting the dew in the wrong direction, then it's like you can't even see that center line. So we typically will cheat a little bit, and we'll put little dots down the fairway.
You use cheaters. You have that technology.
Cheating, yeah. And then we also have the foamers on our fairway units, that's killer. For a dry cut, there's no misses. It's perfect. Yeah. No stress on the guys, so they just know where to cut.
That's so great, because you get to 9 o'clock and that dew's gone, and you're like, oh, dude, I don't know where I'm going.
You just guess.
I have no idea. And you turn around, and then you can see, you're like, oh, man, I missed the whole
By the end of the day, it's a little fuzzier here.
Yeah.
Mohawks.
Right. Oh, man. What don't golfers, do you think, understand about maintaining a course? What are the most common misconceptions, do you think, that the golfers have about?
I got one that I got the other day. Actually, in like a director's meeting, I was kind of like laying out what has been going on this summer, and the one guy says, we're getting a lot of compliments on the golf course. It's like everybody's like really blown away by it, because it's probably because of all the rain, though. Oh. And I was like, what did you say? So the rain doesn't really help that much, especially when you have high humidity and high temperatures. It's the opposite. Like, it starts cooking the turf. We can make it rain with irrigation. I know you can't, but we can make it rain, So being able to control moisture in the soil is paramount. If you don't have good drainage and you get a lot of rain, it's a problem.
Yeah, it's a problem. Yep. Now, when you have problems, turf grass science in your time, so you've been doing this for how many years?
Jeez. So I've been here, this is my 25th season. I got out of Rutgers in 2000.
And you did turf at Rutgers.
Yeah.
So over that time, a lot's happened in turf grass science and the inputs and all this. What's your take on that? Is it gotten too complicated? Are people getting too reliant on inputs? Like, what's sort of the state of that?
It's a good question. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the new technology. The days of, and we still do, but the days of pulling a core out of the green and squeezing it in your hands and see how much moisture's in the green. I mean, we still do that, but we do rely on moisture meters too. So it really takes the guesswork out for the guys that you're sending out hand watering. If we have a number we have to hit, guys will go out, they'll take readings around the green, and they know, like, all right, if we're reading 16, we got to put some water down just to get us through the day. And it's really important for us to put enough water down in the mornings because we can't get on the greens in the afternoons. With 10-minute tee times stacked from, during the week, we're 7 to 8 o'clock at night. There's still people teeing off in the summertime.
Yeah.
We just can't sneak in between golfers. And they don't understand why we're doing it anyway in the afternoons.
Right.
So we make sure we water up in the morning. That gets us through the day. So that piece of equipment is probably hands down the best invention so far. Now they have other things coming out now, these turf rad cameras that take pictures of the turf as it goes on the back of a mower, takes pictures of the turf, and then it downloads like an infrared picture almost into your computer, and you can see your insufficiencies in your irrigation.
Get out.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
But it's kind of scary too, because like, if you can't, do you think there's like an arms race to like make courses like perfect? Because I always wonder about this. Is it, at some point we decided, maybe it's when people started seeing golf on TV in color, and they're like, all right, everything should look like Augusta,
right?
Or everything should be perfect, and it should be lush, it should be green, it should be this, and just kind of the pressure that's put on facilities. Because it's expensive,
sure,
to keep things, as good as you have them here, or as good as, you expect them to be your country club. And then, like, right, you go over to Ireland or Scotland, and you're like, oh,
it's almost automatic.
It's natural.
They have that aesthetic.
Right. Like, you expect it to be natural. You got a greens, you got 3 mowers, and it rains enough, and you play whatever you find in front of you, and you expect that, and you're fine with it. And then we come back home, and you're like, oh, why is that dandelion there?
Ultra manicured, yeah.
Right. So it's like a tricky. Do you feel that pressure to be like?
I think I put that pressure on myself. I don't think the golfer is really putting that pressure on me. We strive for perfection. It's not obtainable, but we always try to be better. When I play golf here, the golf course looks much better than when I'm working on the golf course.
Right.
Because you tend to go to the worst areas when you're working. When you're playing golf, you're hitting down those corridors that are maintained perfectly. Yeah. We're close to perfect.
Can you enjoy your golf? Because, or your golf here, right? Like, is there a tendency to, you look around and you see, oh, we got to fix that, or we've got to do that, or why didn't so-and-so do that? I kind of bump into that.
Yeah, I think that sometimes that affects you a little bit. You have a good round going, and the next thing you know, you see something that got missed, and you're like, oh, it gets in the back of your head. And that's probably why I shoot in the 90s.
If that wasn't the case, you're a scratch player when you're traveling. No, you're a good golfer, man. Looking out there.
Yeah. Well,
dangerous.
Is flashes of greatness.
They're total flashes. Do you think, you do some unique things here. Do you think there's some of those things that you do here that other courses might benefit from or might learn something from? If you're able to maintain a course that's doing 60,000 rounds a year at this high level, what have you learned that you can impart to a course that's doing 10,000 rounds? And
just don't sweat the details too much.
Yeah.
Just just go through there's always tomorrow. Everything doesn't have to get done in one day. The details and everything, they come as your team grows and as you grow with the golf course. This has been a slow burn here. I started here in 2001, and it was nothing like it is now. Yeah. The fairways were covered with clover, and from no fault of this previous superintendent, there just wasn't any irrigation in the fairways. Right. So as we were able to mature the golf course, these details started to present themselves that we could really like widen fairways or put collection areas on greens, these types of things,
So, but there's something you do here that's quite unique, and I hope I get some before we leave. Tell me about the bees.
The bees, yeah.
I don't want the bees. I want the honey.
We'll get you the honey, yeah. I know, yeah. Bees don't travel well.
No bees. You can keep the bees. I'll take the honey.
Yeah, so started that right before COVID. Matt, one of my assistants, and I signed up for a beekeeping class. And
just like for supers or just like?
No, it was like the 4-H club does it here in Skipback.
Nice.
And it was a huge group of people. It's amazing how many people want to learn how to keep bees. But it was my idea just to kind of like prove a point, because golf courses get a bad rap for being like these toxic waste dumps and they're killing all the bees with all these chemicals they're spraying. Well, I want to tell you, we started in 2020, and then now we're in 2025, and we've lost one hive. Actually, we haven't really lost any because we started with 2 and now we have 11. And we never bought another package of bees. We just split hives or caught swarms. So, I mean, they're thriving here on the golf course and producing lots of honey. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's great for your course. You need the, right? I mean, bees are in the news.
Sure.
Bees are in trouble. We need the bees to pollinate.
Yeah.
We need the bees. So you're out there in the suit, like finding a queen and doing that whole thing? Like, are you doing like...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Matt does most of it.
Okay.
My assistant. I helped him the first couple of years, like every time. Now he's really just taking the reins and he's running with it. He's awesome. He loves it. It's like it's hobby too. So,
well, good for the environment, good for the golf course.
Yeah.
And it does prove a point.
Yeah. I mean, there's like, you could use it as a barometer almost. If the bees aren't doing well, then maybe you're doing something wrong on the golf course. Yeah. So bees are doing really well. They must be doing something right.
Yeah, that's a good point. What do you do with the honey?
So we sell it at the township building.
Nice.
And then we also sell it in the pro shop at 1 pound jars. And actually 76ers buy 20 pounds off us every year. And they use it in their, at the Camden facility, they use it in their barbecue sauce, in their granola, anything that has a sweetener in it, they're using our honey.
The Sixers?
The Sixers, yeah.
Well, that's the only knock on the bees.
I know, right? Maybe that's why they're playing so bad.
I was going to say.
It's not the honey.
The bees are doing great. Aside from, no, we're next season, yeah. Rich, next season.
Yeah.
We haven't had some good, we had some down sports luck, me and you. We sat in a bar and watched the Phillies.
I know, we're not allowed to watch any Philadelphia sports together anymore.
No, we watched the Phillies go down one season. But better things for this year, for sure.
I hope so.
I hope so, too. So, I mean, speaking of, like, the environment and bees, like, your job is so closely tied to weather, yeah. Right? Like, I don't know anyone that's more weathered up than, my superintendent,
multiple weather apps.
Right, all the apps. He's got the rain meter, how many centimeters from last night, and so you're obviously, guys, tuned to the weather.
Yeah.
Have you seen... like in your time, there's obviously a lot of people talk about changing weather patterns and things. Have you seen any of that? And has that put any pressure on what you do?
I think we're seeing it. But in the Mid-Atlantic, there is no normal seasons ever. I mean, it's always really wet and humid, really arid and desert-like it was the past few years. And I just think that no season's typical. The normal is not being normal,
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we had such a wet spring.
I feel that the winters maybe aren't as strong as they used to be. Right. Like our shoulder seasons are definitely bigger. We're extending golf into December. Yeah, it's good for revenue.
It's good for revenue. Yeah, it's an interesting thing because it's like what the impact that weather has on your revenue. I've certainly felt that, and this spring being so tough. But then who knows? That means we get a dry fall, and
I mean, I hope we have a little bit of moisture in the fall so we can get some seed in the ground and get some of these low-lying areas growing
back. That would be nice.
So, yeah.
That would be very nice. We have a lot of seeding to do as well. So a lot of challenges in this kind of job. I'm sure you put out a little fires here and there. Tell me about like what's the most stubborn turf issue that you've dealt with?
Stubborn turf issues. Right now, we're looking at summer grassy weeds. We got Dallas grass and past palm popping up. There's really no chemical control other than there's one that's coming off the market, and if you spray it, it really damages your desirable turfs. So you're out there spot spraying, big patches of Dallas grass or past palm or silver crab. So yeah, that's kind of like the biggest pain in the neck is these summer annuals.
The summer annuals.
Yeah, and perennials. They're perennials too. So
we have these weeds, that get vertical or they're not dandelions, but just anything, but the blades won't hit them, like you'll go over them and you look back and you're
it's like nut sedge.
Yeah.
Like a sedge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Yeah. Like these things are cool, and they grow like 3 inches a night.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I feel you on weeds. In your career, did you ever have like a real, those seasons when you lose the greens or there's some disease, like what's happened? Like,
yeah. So probably 14 years ago, we had a winter damage. We were covered in ice for about 60 days. So what happens is you get crown hydration. So the plant needs to exhaust gas. And when there's a sheet of ice on top of that turf, the gas has no place to go. So it just kind of like kills all the turf. So we lost probably 80% of 4 greens. We had to temp those greens out and try to grow them in so that we can open up by June.
Yeah.
We were able to do it, but...
So what are you doing in that case? Are you sodding or seeding?
Seeding. Yeah, seeding aggressively with bent grass, praying for warm days, warm soil temperatures. Got lucky. Things came in, and we haven't had an event like that since. So,
and that brings up an interesting point. I don't think the average golfer would know what like grow days are. And that's been an issue for us this season because the spring with the weird temperatures and all the rain, our grow days were down from 100 to 20, how do you tell people what like a grow day is?
So what I look at as growth potential is an average of 60-degree temperatures is optimal to grow grass. So when temperatures get above 85 degrees, the plant doesn't really want to grow much. When soil temperatures are above 85 degrees, roots start to die. So the optimal temperatures are about 60 to 65 degrees for growing turf. And when you have a mix of turf, so you have poania and bentgrass, those plants want to grow at different times of year too. So poania wants to grow in those shoulder seasons, and then bentgrass wants to really thrives in more humid temperatures. That's why you get like puffiness on bentgrass fairways or greens. So
yeah, what's your favorite grass?
I like poania, man.
Oh
yeah.
Some people think it's a weed.
No,
it's not.
Tell the guys at Oakmont.
I was gonna say.
And once you figure it. I'm not saying you ever really figure it out, but once you get a really good system, it's pretty great to putt on.
It is. Oh, absolutely.
You can control seed heads and disease pressure on it, and wilt.
Right.
It's a great surface.
What makes great? Is it just easy to?
It's more of an upright grower where bentgrass wants to grow laterally.
Yeah.
And when you get that lateral growth, you get more friction on the ball, so the ball doesn't want to roll as fast on bentgrass. So you have to cut it short. There's more cultural practices to try to get it to grow upright. So verticutting and top dressing and things like that. So Pella kind of does all the work for you.
Yeah. When you think about like extreme weather challenges, whether it be crazy storms or in winter, just to go back to that, is that what we cover greens? Like, do you cover your greens in the winter?
I don't.
Okay.
I will cover some tees though.
What is that?
So you're raising the temperature of the turf. You're giving more growing days.
All right.
So on tees here, I mean, we're doing 270 rounds every day. So it's like, just think of the first tee as basically a big driving range tee.
Yeah.
And you want to regrow those divots back in. So recovering it gives it a better chance of recovery.
Okay. All right. But if you had there's been some crazy storms through here. How have you dealt with like some of your like weather disasters?
Like tree damage and things like that? Because we just had a giant oak tree fall down, almost killed one of my
Really?
One of my staff members, yeah.
Oh, that's scary.
No, it was really scary, and it was broad daylight. We had a lot of rain and wind the night before.
Yeah.
Weakened the tree. Kids doing a cleanup pass around a tee. Here's the pop of the tree. Able to run away in time. Landed right where he was.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, giant oak tree.
Yeah.
And now we got to call in the arborist.
Yeah.
It's too big for us to take care of. Have a really good relationship with this guy who's here in an hour, cleaned up in 2 hours, back in business.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I would sit at our place for 2 months. We would incorporate it into the golf course.
Well, you could do that too. You know?
Yeah, but it can be a dangerous job.
Absolutely. Golf balls are dangerous.
Have you gotten hit?
I just got hit the other day for the first time in 25 years. I was mowing rough over these new hummocks we put in on 11.
Yeah.
And guys couldn't really see where I was, so they're on the 16th tee, and ball hit me right in the top of the big toe.
Boom.
Yeah, it hurt like a son of a bitch.
So we're sitting here in the barn, and a lot of equipment envy. And you got a beautiful full fleet here. It's shining. Obviously, you've got a good mechanic. These are very well cared for machines. I mean, if people sort of take for granted, they just see the maintenance barn and they take for granted, it's where the mowers are and this, that, and the other, and they don't realize there's $4 million worth of equipment in there or whatever.
There's a full-time mechanic taking care of it.
Yeah, people don't realize there's a lift, or you have a lift in here, right?
We have 2 lifts on the other
Oh
side.
gosh.
Right.
Yeah, I hate you. We use sawhorses. No. We use the jack for your car.
I've been there.
Yeah.
We've been there here. This is new to us.
It's so great. It's so great to see a place like this. So what's the most underrated piece of equipment? In your shed, right? You got a lot of bells and whistles, but what's your go-to, your beloved?
I would have to say these bank mowers, believe it or not. So one back here, the Ventrac.
Ventrac.
Yeah, awesome machine. It's can climb like crazy hills, and
is it
like a Swiss Army
A tires? Yeah.
The A tires, yeah. And it has all these different implements that you can put on the front. So it's got a flex deck that we mow all these like crazy undulated greens complexes, and we can switch that out, put a rough cut deck on, and mow down all the native areas. We have a trencher we stick on the front of that thing, and what else do we have? We have a snowblower for it. Yeah. And there's like probably 50 other things you can get for it.
We had a side cutter on ours.
Yeah.
It was pulling when we did the construction.
Yeah.
Pull it all
Awesome.
outside.
Yes.
Ventrac is pretty versatile.
Pretty awesome, yeah.
Technology and equipment. You guys, you got robots out here.
Yeah.
So where's that going? Is it just gonna be you, Rich, standing in a field of your morning meeting, Rich and 27 robots? Yeah.
All right, robot. I don't think so. Not anytime soon. Yeah. They have a lot of tweaking to do. It's not really a set it and forget it thing. Okay. These things they get themselves into trouble. They might slip on a bank or a misplaced bunker rake.
Sure.
And in that case, if it happens after we're gone, if a pro shop attendant can't go out and reset the mower, that thing sits for 12 hours. So that 12 hours is a lot of grass that thing needs. It only cuts 2.5 acres a day, so that 12 hours is a huge loss. Yeah. So unless the golf course is set up just for that kind of thing, it's a ways away.
All right, so it's not there just yet.
No, and I think you're probably always going to have somebody supervising these things. Yeah. Imagine that thing out there by itself.
That's a big mower.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah, it is scary, right? It's one thing to have self-driving taxis, but I don't need that thing rolling at me without anyone driving it. That's a very large mower we're looking at with very sharp reels.
And then, the thought is that you can mow these things in off hours. Or you can mow your fairways or whatever, but you have to irrigate at night. So unless the irrigation system's going to interface with your mowers and the irrigation head's going to, turn off when the mower goes over top of it, like how does this all work, Yeah. So there's a ways to go.
So you're using them, for in the rough
areas, like folk rough areas.
Yeah.
I think they work great for that. Yeah. Big areas that just want to keep maintained constantly.
So you hear a lot. Can you have a life during the season as a superintendent?
It's gotten better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, with the staff really being like they're veterans now, my assistant, I can pretty much leave and he can handle it for a week for sure.
Oh, that's.
I mean, I don't leave in the summer. I might go away for 3 days or here or there, but I would feel comfortable leaving for a week.
Okay.
Put it that way.
Well, you're running.
But before it was, it was 18 years before I went on a vacation. So yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, 7 days a week.
Yeah, 7 days a week, every day.
You gotta love it.
You do. You have to have a passion for it. And if I didn't have a wife and kids, I say to people, I would do this for free. I love it. If you gave me food and a place to sleep, I'm good to go.
I hear you sleep here sometimes.
I do.
How's that work?
Well, there's some fires that you have to put out, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's just better just to stay here because going home a half hour that way and a half hour this way, lose an hour of sleep, so might as well just get that extra hour here.
Yeah. So where's the passion come from that how's it stay? How do you stay so, because you have a great routine, right? But every day's you're kind of doing some of the same things. So how do you stay fired up about it?
I think, first of all, the team's great, so I love being around the guys.
Okay.
But a vision for things that we're going to do in the future. So any types of projects coming up, planning those out, because we do most of them in-house. We might have Tyler Ray come in and shape something here or there, but we're finishing it off. We're draining it. We're adding sand. We're sodding. So yeah, those things keep me motivated.
Yeah, it's probably every day's a little different too, depending on the weather or what you have on, what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, definitely no day is the same. There's always something that comes up, whether it's clubhouse related or staff related or a mower breaks down, mechanics off, and I have to figure out how to fix it. And that's not always the best thing. So if there's not a backup ready, then we got to struggle to figure out how to get this thing running again.
So you got this passion. Do you find that are you finding that in the next generation? Do you think that, is it getting harder to find people who want to get going to turf or what's that? What do you think and who want to do this? What's the next generation of superintendents look like?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, from what I see in the industry, I think it's positive. Yeah. I think turf schools are, they're up in their class sizes. Good. For here, I don't really see too many kids that want to advance into turf. Yeah. Usually I'm getting high school or college kids that already have a direction where they're going. Right. And then my other guys they're happy here. Yeah. So I don't really have a lot of turnover with my core group.
But you were different. You started out, you would have been a young man. He said, did you know at 15, this is what I want to do?
Yeah. 16, I knew this is what I wanted to do. I love being outside. I love being around golfers and golf in general. Yeah. Maintenance staff's awesome. Pro shop staff, I really love those guys too. So yeah. I just love the whole group, the whole family.
Yeah, and that can be tricky. I think at some clubs, it can be it can get a little entrenched, turf, golf, you know what I mean? And what they can kind of butt heads and there's just sort of, and of course, and then turf's the bully because it's without us, you don't have a golf course, so you can see that dynamic at some clubs, but it's cool that there seems to be a we mentality here.
Yes, it definitely is. Yeah, everybody's really just in it for the betterment of the golf course for sure.
It's awesome. It absolutely shows. So sometimes I'll have this dream where, all right, I won the Powerball and I've got $10 million to spend on Sullivan County and what would I do? Because, budget is always never enough to go around. Do you ever have that dream of what if you had unlimited time and unlimited resources, what would you do?
Here?
Yeah.
I would do another renovation. All the bunkers would get redone, put capillary concrete in all of them.
Those are Billy bunkers.
Similar. This is a concrete product that's permeable.
Oh, okay.
So it's not the pea gravel with the polymer. It's actual concrete. Seems to be the best bunker liner on the market. But I would do bunkers. I would tree work. I mean, extend tees. You never have enough teeing surface, right? You know that. Expand the greens back to their original pads. I mean, we've been doing that throughout the past few years, but it's a very slow process because we're growing a Poanya sod from our cores that we're harvesting off greens after aerification. So there's a 2-year process to grow in new sod so that it matches for the greens expansion. So I would just buy that sod somewhere. Maybe somebody could grow for me.
Just bring it on a truck.
New irrigation system.
Yeah. It's a long list of, there's always something. Yeah. That's cool though. People probably don't realize that you take the cores from when you aerify and you actually use them. How does that work?
So we have a nursery green. We'll harvest, after we pull plugs, we'll harvest all the cores and then spread them over that nursery green after the sod's been stripped off of it. So we have a clean slate. We put the cores down, and then we roll them tight, seed it, top dress it, let it grow, and then start mowing in the spring.
So, all right. So you're not just throwing dirt on top of it. You're taking, when you say putting the cores on it.
The whole core, the whole plug, yeah.
You're throwing it on a green?
Throwing it on that green.
Okay.
Spreading it out with a trap rake. Cool. You know, it's pretty simple. You know, just kind of spin it around like you're raking sand. Top dress and seeds. Roll it tight with your speed roller.
And that'll grow into your sod farm.
Mm-hmm. And it's the same turf.
Right.
You know, that's on the greens.
Yeah.
When you do an expansion, it's really hard to tell unless you know where that original green was.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Smart. I love that. Speaking of aerifying, I want to, people, I think people have a vague idea of why you aerify. And nobody likes it when a course is aerified. Tell us about all right, but there's also different types. Sure. There's cores, there's tines, there's all sorts of different stuff.
Deep tine, there's needle tine, there's solid tine, there's core aerification.
All right, what are the differences?
So core aerification, you're removing material, and usually what you're trying to do is remove organic matter, so thatch, and you're trying to dilute it with top dressing. So we remove a core, and then you're changing a small percentage of the organic matter that's in that top layer. So you get that firmness, and you don't get that sponginess. Of a solid tine, if your organic matter is within your parameters, and you need to relieve some compaction, you do a solid tine, top dress, keeps things tight.
So that's just a big needle.
Well, you can do like a bigger solid tine too. Okay. And then a needle tine is something that you would do in season, and that is venting. So venting is when you poke holes in the green at like a 3 to 4 inch depth so that you can get some oxygen into the soil. Okay. So years like this, when we have had an excessive amount of rain, so soil, is made up of, your minerals, your air and water. If there's too much water, then there's not enough air. Right. So you have to add the air by venting the green. And then a deep tine, what that does is, you can go in 10, 12 inches. It has a whipping action and actually fractures the soil at a deeper depth, so you can get those deep roots going down into the ground.
How are you doing? Are you doing that with it? Oh, it's not rolling.
It goes in, and as it comes out, it whips up like that. So you get that little fracturing action. Because when you aerify, and if you're using the same size, same length tines, what you're doing is you're creating a compaction layer at like a 3 or 4 inch depth, because you're constantly pounding that same area. So if you're not rotating, so if I started on number 1 this year, aerifying, and I'm going to use the same set of tines for all 18 holes, then next year I should start on number 9, because by the time I get to 1, it's going to be shorter. Does that make sense?
How's it going to be shorter?
Because your tine's going to wear out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So the deep tine will break through that compaction layer that you created with your solid tines and your core tines, and fracture that so that water can get down past that compaction layer that you created.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, what do you do? What's your favorite coring or tining?
None of them.
No. Is it a pain in the ass?
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. It's the weather has to be perfect. It doesn't have to be because it never is. But you know, when you're core aerifying, you're pulling a core. The core's typically has too much moisture in it, so you can't collect the core right away.
Yeah, it's gonna dry.
Otherwise, it's like mud everywhere. So you have to wait a little bit, and then you collect your core once it's dry enough, and then blow the green off, and then top dress, then drag the sand in, and then blow it again.
Yeah.
It's just a pain in the ass, really.
It is.
But it's a necessary evil, you know.
What if so for golfers, none of us like it when it happens. Super doesn't even like it. But what happens if we don't do it?
Well, then you could potentially see a decline in turf.
Yeah.
Compaction, you're compressing the soil and removing that pore space where water and oxygen need to take up. So when you compact it, the water has no place to go. Oxygen has no place to go. So what happens? The plant declines to the summer.
Yeah.
So it has to be done.
It's got to be done.
Yeah.
Speaking of aerifying, that's one of those words. They're like buzzwords in agronomy that I think people, like golfers like myself, maybe think they know what they mean, but maybe they don't. So I'm going to throw some at you.
Okay.
See if you can educate us.
Oh, maybe I can. Jesus, put me on the
No,
spot.
they're easy for you. All right. People say top dressing. What does that mean?
So it's you can do multiple different kinds of top dressing. There's multiple different sizes of sand that you can use. So if you're aerifying, you want a medium coarse sand so that your pore space is greater. And then through the summer, what you're trying to do is, as the plant is actively growing, you want to top dress so that you're diluting the organic matter that's created and maintaining a smooth surface.
Right.
So that's what you're doing with top dress.
Okay. So we're creating a smooth surface with
And diluting organic matter.
diluting the organic matter, AKA another one of those words people may think they know, or I thought I knew what it was, but thatch.
Thatch, yeah. That is decomposing stems, leaf tissue, biomaterials, you know.
Yeah. Those clippings or whatever
Yes.
that just, and what is that?
Dying off stems and things like that.
What is that? It just becomes sort of,
Like a sponge almost.
Right.
You know, and what happens is it's hard to get it dry. And when it's dry, it's hard to get wet. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when we get a lot of rain and you have a lot of thatch, greens stay softer longer. When we get a lot of dry weather, we have to put excessive amounts of irrigation on them.
and you get rid of thatch by,
Aerifying, verticutting.
Verticutting.
that's my next one. Tell me, people would say, I thought I knew what verticutting was. Well, I had it in my imagination. Actually, I didn't know what it was. So what's verticutting?
So it's a series of blades set in a vertical pattern, look kind of like gears, you know. Yeah, you can set to different depths. You know, sometimes you verticut just to groom the turf and get it to stand up so that when you mow it, you're standing the turf up so you're mowing a lot of those lengthy bentgrass stems or stolons off.
Okay.
So you get a smoother surface. If the deeper you go, you can remove organic
You can
matter.
pull the thatch
You can
out.
pull thatch out. And that's when it looks like you're like killing the green. You're
Yeah.
rototilling the green up, but now you're actually doing it a favor.
So that's what we do. We didn't have a Procore aerator or anything, so
Yeah.
we got a Graydon.
Graydon's freight machine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just and Sean, it was fun. It was kind of scary at first because you're like,
Yeah.
all right, let's try an inch. All right, let's try 2 inches.
Oh, the one that dumps the sand into?
No,
No.
we don't. We gotta go over. Yeah, no, it was. We're if anyone's listening to this and is looking to donate any turf equipment, I am not leaving this shop without getting our hands on something. But no, yeah, that was cool and it helped a lot. You see the stuff, you're like, whoa, there's a lot of dead.
I think you could probably remove more organic matter with that Graydon than you can with a core aerification.
Yeah.
You know, now you're not relieving compaction, but you are removing all of that thatch.
Yeah. So it's basically like a knife spinning around and
Like
pulling up the, it's a saw blade.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. All right. Here's another one. What the hell is a wetting agent? A surfactant?
Surfactant is a polymer that, so there's different kinds of wetting agents. There's retainers, and then there's penetrators, and then there's supposedly these combination products. So if you have, if you're coming into a period of dry weather, you want to put a penetrant on. No, not a penetrant, I'm sorry, a retainer. So you want to retain moisture. So what it does is it'll hold moisture in that root zone. Wherever you water it to, it stays. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if I spray, Revolution out, and I have to water it in for 25 minutes to get it down past the thatch into the root zone. And then once it's dry or sets, then we know we're going to be able to water, and we'll have a consistent amount of moisture throughout the green. Right. A penetrant is something that you might put down if you're coming into a wet season, or you're checking the weather, because we're always checking the weather. And we know we're going to get a lot of rain. We'll put a penetrant down so that the water will move through the profile evenly, and we'll get a nice, dry, crusty surface.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't probably, you might not know that those things exist.
Yeah.
We got some from our friends at Aquatrolls at Sullivan, and made a difference.
Oh yeah.
Huge difference.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Or like,
swear by them.
Yeah.
Especially when you got a lot of humps and bumps on your greens. I mean, it really helps, that morning setup.
Yeah. That's awesome. When you're syringing a green, you're not really watering it, are you? What are you trying to accomplish there?
So the plant does this thing called evapotranspiration. The way that the grass cools itself off is it transpirates water into the atmosphere, and then the breeze comes across and cools off the turf. Trees do it, all plants. If you have a very hot, humid day and you have enough wind, a breeze, we syringe the turf, because what happens is, like I said before, as soon as we hit like that 85, 90 degree temperature, the turf stops transpirating, shuts down. So we have to cool it for the plant. So we're putting a very light film of water or mist on the turf, get that nice breeze, cools the plant down probably 10 degrees. And that's why when you go to clubs and you're like, what's that fan? Well, that fan is there to move air across the surface of the plant so that it can transpirate.
Yeah. So it's not that you're out there, ooh, this needs to drink some water. We're just cooling it off.
Just cooling it off. Yeah. It's like literally like, you're on the green for 10 seconds, real quick.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Big question here. Burning question in the minds of all golfers who've visited any fairways. Is it better, where I'm going with this, to put the divot back or to fill it with sand? We need the definitive answer.
Put the divot back.
Put the divot back.
Put the divot back.
You heard it here, folks.
Absolutely. That is the only answer.
Really?
Yes. Unless it explodes.
Okay.
And you cannot replace it. Then put some sand in it. But if you can, always put the divot back, because there's enough moisture in that thatch and that little bit of soil profile that you have there that it will knit very quickly.
Will it?
Yes.
Because everyone always says, it's not going to grow back.
It will. Yes.
It will grow back.
Yes.
They've been lying.
It will grow back. They've been lying because they're lazy.
Like, they've been lying to me. Or I always lied as a caddy because I didn't want to go get that divot. That's not going to grow back.
Now, if you're on Bermuda grass, that's different.
Okay, yeah. So on Bermuda grass.
Yes, warm season grasses are different. I'm talking cool season grass here.
Cool season grasses.
Yeah.
On Bermuda, you're using sand. Well, you're not taking divots.
Yeah, you're just kind of like frass mowing it, You're just kind of getting rid of the vegetation on top and just comes back.
All right. So what do we bother with all the sand for?
I guess it's just
aesthetic. Evens
if
it out.
It levels the surface, I guess. I mean, I'm not good enough to play out of an empty divot or a sand-filled divot. I just roll the ball back anyway. That's not really cheating when you the local rule that I made up here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, sand is there to level it out.
So replace your divots. Don't go so quickly to that sand bottle if you can go get that divot.
Yeah, go get the divot.
Go get the divot.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'll do it.
I in the mornings, I'll just pick a bunch of them up and replace them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just get like 15, 20 divots on each fairway.
And you still and you love doing it.
Yeah. I hate seeing them all over the place. Try to clean up after everybody.
Yeah. But that's awesome that you still have that passion for it. And, for 25 years, you've had that passion. Have it for another 25 years.
Well, I won't be here in 25 years.
Hey, well, you're a young man. And still be picking up and replacing divots because you love it.
Yeah.
Where's it?
I like doing divots on the tees too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just something that, just kind of like meditating doing it.
Yeah.
Does
it take a certain personality? Does it is that kind of passion, or being a super where, right, you can't do everything in one day, right? And, but there's a lot of small things you can do, and you're trying for perfect, but you have to accept maybe not perfect. I don't know, a lot of the supers that I know, I don't know, a lot of really high strung guys. Do you think they're generally I grew up around John Gosselin, and a Rolling Green, and he was a pretty chill dude. He's kind of like yourself,
We went to the same high school.
Did you really?
Yeah.
No way.
A few decades apart.
Okay. I won't say which one. But there's generally, I think, supers can kind of be a little, maybe, I don't know, is it reserved or kind of just doing their thing? And I don't know, is there a certain kind of personality that you think suits the job?
I think the stereotype is introverted.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the word I was looking for.
Somebody that's doesn't want the spotlight too much.
Doesn't want to have a camera in his face in the barn.
Yeah.
And I'm
we talked about this earlier. Yeah. I mean, we're happy to share the knowledge that we have with each other and anybody who asks. So, we're proud of what we do, and we're happy to share with everybody,
Yeah. So the Superintendent show is a little chiller than the PGA show the week before, where you've got the extroverts,
right,
in the pro shop, and then you got the guys,
the salesman.
Yeah, the salesman, and then you got the guys who are all right, we need a mower.
Yeah, we're excited about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, do you geek out on this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love all the new stuff coming out,
Yeah.
Little tweaks that they might make to a mower, or we just got a new grinder. It's freaking incredible. Our real grinder, it's all computerized. You hit a button, grinds it for you practically.
You're talking about grinding your blades.
Yeah.
And reels.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah,
The one we had before was 30 years old, so it was time.
Yeah. But who do you geek out with? You can't go home and tell your wife,
Nah, she doesn't.
Honey, I got to talk to you about this grinder.
Yeah.
It's grinding so great. I guess you geek out with your guys here.
Yeah. Geek out with each other, geek out with my buddies at other golf courses,
It's got to be a pretty good fraternity.
It is. It's the best.
So it is. I've done a few events at, the Philly section with the Philly section supers, and it is a really cool, tight group.
Yeah, I think it's we've all experienced the struggle through that 100 days of hell through the summer in the Mid-Atlantic. So we kind of share that type of, pain.
You're a band of brothers.
We're a band of brothers.
Yeah, you want to.
Every summer's a war here.
Yeah, yeah, and you're winning. I driving around the course today. Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
Just last question: What's your favorite day of the year, and why is it when the Broken Tea Society comes to Jeffersonville?
That is one of my favorite days of the year because, well, first of all the members are just the coolest people. And then, you guys like Foster, and, just great guys, man. I just love hanging out.
Well, you're great that day because you set up that, a short course for us on the golf course. So after we play the 18, go out and, I don't know, that was your inspiration one day to just, let's make a different routing.
Well, we kind of started the par 3 tournament. We have one in March every year, and that's our like kickoff for the season. Kind of like how the Masters do it.
Yeah, that's
You know,
Yeah.
so it's like just a fun day. We play in sixums. This is the one in March, and then you win a cool trophy at the end of the day, and it's just a great start to the season. And I wanted to share that with you guys.
It's the highlight of the day for everyone. Yeah, Rich puts tees out in all these different spots, and you get these wild, the whole course is turned into par 3s, and you get these wild shots from crazy angles, and some really short, some longer. It's just it's super fun. We have so much fun here. It's been sort of the birth of the Broken Tee Society Tour. It was at Jeffersonville.
Happy to be part of it.
Yeah, and
it's awesome.
and we love it here. And we love it here because it is a revelation to people when they're like, oh, they're having an event in a Muni, and then they show up, and it's a wonderful surprise.
Cool.
Thanks to you, my man.
Thank you, man.
Well, thank you, and let's go play some golf.
Yeah. I don't think we'll get out there.
Yeah, course as full as usable.
Thanks for listening, everyone. And if you enjoyed this episode, we strongly encourage you to become a member of the Golfer's Journal, or if you already are, to share it with your friends. As a reader-supported publication, we couldn't do it without you. We also couldn't do it without the help of our partners, and they are Titleist, Scotty Cameron, FootJoy, Holderness & Bourne, Omega, Charles Schwab, and BMW. We'll see you next time on the Golfer's Journal podcast.